Welcome back to my channel, Real Life Solutions. Hey, thank all my subscribers. I appreciate you guys coming aboard. I like to thank my original subscribers that had been walking with me and sticking around and cheering me on all this time. But hey, I got some information for you. FCI Dublin Federal Prison. I don't know if you guys heard this, but stay tuned. Listen to this.
News that the women's federal prison in Dublin is shutting down after a sex abuse scandal involving numerous prison guards and inmates. KTVU crime reporter Henry Lee live outside the prison in Dublin to bring us the latest. Henry.
Well, Garcia, this came as a surprise to many inmates who are now being transferred to other prisons across the country. Now, this comes weeks after a judge appointed a special master to oversee reforms here at this prison because of a sex abuse scandal. We don't know if this closure is temporary or permanent. We'll show you some video from earlier. Now, we did see some buses arriving at the prison this morning. We do understand some of them are moving some of the 600 inmates at this all-female prison in Dublin. KTVU has learned some have already been transferred, and the rest are expected to be gone by Friday. Now, federal prison officials won't say exactly when or where these inmates will end up for their own safety. This sudden closure comes just weeks after a federal judge named a special master to oversee reforms at the prison. Now, the move comes after 8 correctional officers, including the former warden, were charged in federal court with having sex with female inmates, including the former warden, who was one of the suspects. Now, 7 have been convicted. And just last month, FBI agents raided the prison on the same day that officials announced the new warden, an associate warden, and a captain were all dismissed. That new leadership was in place, but they are now gone. Now, the Bureau of Prisons says it is working on deactivation and says this closure may be temporary. It will result in a, quote, mission change. It's not clear what that means and how it may affect any reforms. We did speak to an aunt of an inmate who was upset by the closure, as well as an attorney who said the announcement took everyone by surprise.
She's petrified because she doesn't know where she's going. She's sick, and she is supposed to be released immediately. So she's not sure, as far as she's concerned, she's not sure what's going to happen. So whether it's a good thing or a bad thing for the prison in general, I can't say.
I mean, it's a shock. We were not provided any kind of advance notice, which tells a lot about the approach the government has taken in keeping the welfare of the women and others who live at Dublin in mind.
We're hearing varying opinions as to whether this closure is a good thing. Now, the attorney we spoke to says it is because of all the issues this prison has experienced. But clearly, the women who have been housed here are being uprooted and are worried about their future. Now, as far as the employees at this prison, we're being told they are not being affected. We did learn that the federal judge overseeing reforms did hold an emergency meeting and told all the stakeholders that the special master will be in place, will be there to look over this transfer, and will make sure none of the women who are being moved will be retaliated against. Live in Dublin, Henry Lee, KTVU, Fox.
Hey, you guys seen that clip? What do you think about that? To all my new viewers, hey, thanks for coming back to Real Life Solutions. 605 inmates at that facility, 501 inmates at the Federal Correctional Institution, 104 inmates at the camp. Here we see that the women were assaulted from the warden all the way down to the correctional officers. The warden apparently had 3 counts of acts. I think it was 3 counts of allegedly. I think it was 3 counts of sexual assault, and then he had another count where he lied to the FBI. Okay, and then you had captains who were walked out, and you had 8 correctional officers who were found guilty, and some of them pled guilty. And so, and then you had, and what's so really bad about it, they had people that they allowed to retire. They allowed them to retire after they done all this craziness up there at the prison, and it makes me not even want to hate that I'm even associated with the Federal Bureau of Prisons. that I was even associated with it at all, with all the foolishness that go on inside the prison. You know, and here it is, the warden supposed to set the tone inside the prison, and you got the warden up here SAing female inmates. You got officers who are working in certain departments and where female witnesses walk by, somebody's under the desk. While the officer is sitting there at the desk, somebody's under the desk. He's getting taken care of. You know, foolishness. You know, you don't even come to work. This is not what you come to work to do. You're supposed to be here keeping the peace, keeping order. And then you got officers who are engaging in this illegal activity. You know, we hold the power. You can't have consensual relations with anybody in there because it will never stand up in court, because you have the higher position of authority. You command and you tell people what to do, and that's what the courts, that's how they're going to see it. Now, it's bad enough that they had to have the judge had to issue a master over the facility to make sure women are not getting retaliated against and mistreated or being shipped, you know, more than 500 miles away from their family so that they can never, see their loved ones. It's just really, it's just crazy, you know, to think, you know, that year after year, there are women who get pregnant in prison. And you say, well, they're not on the street. How do you get pregnant? Male officers, male staff who are taking liberties with women inside the prison, whether it be for favors, extra visits, whether it be contraband, bringing in contraband, whether it be bringing in drugs, and it's a trade-off. This for that, quid pro quo, this for that. You know, a guy has sex with a certain female, maybe her people may bring something, mail a package to his house, or maybe he may meet them somewhere. He brings it into the institution. I've seen it done. And just a facility where I work with, where they got an officer, he was bringing his lunch in. Brought his lunch. We got word that he was bringing in weed, you know, in his lunchbox, you know. And then the superintendent set him up. And the inmates set him up. And they gave him money that was recorded. Got the serial numbers off the money. Gave the inmate the money. Inmate made the switch. Once he made the switch, he told the officer. Officer called the superintendent. Superintendent called that officer to the office. Told him what was happening. You can either resign, or we're gonna fire you, or we're gonna go ahead and press charges. He took his money out. He tried to get slick with the superintendent. Took his money out and said, "I got serial numbers to this money," and the guy had money in his pocket. And he said, "How is it that your serial numbers, I don't know what's in your pocket. How is it that the money that you have in your pocket matches the serial numbers I have right here on my desk?" He couldn't do nothing but go ahead and resign. But this is how things happen inside of the prison. So it's crazy that this is allowed to go on. But this can go on when you got the warden who's setting the tone. He set the culture. You know, if the warden is doing it, guess what? Everybody else is going to do it too. And there's no repercussions. Nobody's going to get fired. And guess what? All these women, they shut down the prison. All these women were being transferred to other places. You know what? The director of the BOP, certain few people got they went ahead and said that they did it, took the punishment, went to prison. The warden says nobody's going to lose their job. They're going to shut it down. Employees got shipped to other prisons who are the guilty party. I'm telling y'all, people are going to be well taken care of. And if you think that warden got 5 years and you think that warden going to do that whole 5 years, he ain't going to do it. That's what they're going to do. They're going to send him to a camp. They're going to send him to a camp to where he can be laid back, he can chill, and nothing's going to happen. But those correctional officers, they're going to do that 5 or more years. They're going to do it. That captain going to do it too. But it's just how it is. You know, it seems like the higher rank you are and you do stuff like this, you don't do your time. You get well taken care of. You know, it shouldn't be that way, but it is. I got some more clips coming up after this for some other things that happened at the FCI Dublin. Leave your comments, leave your concerns, any comment that you'd like to make, any questions. I'll be more than happy to answer those for you. But until we meet again, you guys take care. Be safe out there. Uncle T's out. Till next episode.